Welcome back, everyone, to video number 2 in our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager. Now, if you remember where we left off in our first video, as we had gone through most, if not all, of the various tabs across the bottom of the screen to get a basic idea of what the game is about and what type of information is available to us. And we were ready to hit continue and move through the game until we found a day where there is something that needs our attention. Well, before we do that, there's some things we need to do. Okay, if you remember our car screen, our car is not very good. Okay, if we come over right quick to our team overall, our car is not very good. Our headquarters are basically non-existent, and our staff is not very good. Well, we've taken some steps, hopefully, toward improving our staff by attempting to recruit a new lead designer and another race mechanic, okay, to replace one of the two we have now. We can see how those negotiations are going. Right here on the staff tab, we can see that they're considering our offer, and after a certain number of days, they'll get back to us. We'll receive an email from them as to whether or not they accept or reject our offer and whether or not we're going to be able to further negotiate. Based on the patience of 3 here, I believe we're going to have at least a couple of shots at negotiation, so we'll see how that goes. But another reason why our calendar didn't have much on it is because we're not designing any parts and we're not improving any parts. So let's go ahead and get that started even before our first race. So what do we need to improve on? Well, basically everything, but our suspension seems to be okay. Okay, this is our suspension here. It's, again, not wonderful, but it's probably the best that we have. Engine, again, not too bad either. So we want to work on acceleration or deceleration. Well, deceleration would be our brakes, and it's among the cheaper things for us to work on, and it's also the quickest. 6 days we can have this done, and you can see we have 16 days until our next race, so we don't quite have enough time to get both of these done before then, but that's okay. We're going to start with brakes, and so we'll click on here, and we have some options to go in here. As you can see, right now we only have one slot available. That's okay, so let's choose an option here. Now, none of these options have the risk of breaking any rules. You'll see sort of a warning sign up here if they did. So what do we want to focus on? Well, I think I want to focus on reliability. And the reason is reliability is going to give us the ability to press harder during the race without breaking the part. So we're going to give that a shot. Do I know that that's the best route to go? Absolutely not. But I like the idea of an extra 15% of reliability, so we're going to start there. This part to research is going to take us $550,000. Right now, we're okay because our sponsors have loaded us up with money for the time being. So we're going to go ahead and build that part. It's asking us here to confirm that. Yes, we want to confirm. So we've spent that money. Our balance is now decreased, and it's going to take 6 days to build that part. Now, how quickly that goes and how good of a job we do depends on our staff. So that's another reason why we want to get our staff up. Now, we don't have any new parts to fit right now, not until this gets done. So let's work on improving our parts. We've got 2 ways that we can improve things. And again, it goes back to the competency of your staff. So we've got performance and reliability. Okay, so let's take a look. We could autofill, and it will pick these components to work on. And I think that's what I'm going to start with. Okay, it says 18 days after the race is when both of these are going to be done. But if we remove one, you can see that both of the, or at least one of these will be done, but it'll take 1 day after the race. Let's autofill here. And they're going to work on the reliability of our spec part. I'm not sure I particularly like that, but that's what the game right now is thinking is best. So let's take a look at what happens if we reallocate some staff. Okay, if we put everything over to reliability, we're still not going to have it done by the next race. If we move everybody over, we still get it done 1 day after the race. So it doesn't appear as though we're going to have anything done very quickly. All right, with that in mind, I am going to, let's see, those are our original brakes. Let's move everything over to reliability right now. And we'll see, let's see. We've got reliability there, 8 days before the race. Okay, so let's go ahead and start there. All right, and we're going to hit not continue because that will move forward in the days. Okay, we don't have the money to either upgrade or build any new buildings right now. Let's take a look at our drivers. Nothing new going on there, but I do want to get something going because I want to use this slot not only as a reserve driver, but a driver that we want to really work on for the future, if possible. So we have some slots here. You can see we have 3 slots available. Now, if we upgrade our buildings in our under our buildings tab, then we can get some additional slots you can see, but right now we don't have those. So who do I want to take a look at? Well, I want to take a look at some younger drivers, nobody that's already under contract. So let's see what we have here. We've got somebody here. Now, we have no idea what their ability is unless we keep an eye on them and scout them. So let's go ahead and scout right here. And Felipe, again, what I'm most interested here is not necessarily what their ability is right now, but what is their ability for the future. So let's see, what do we get here? Okay, and we'll go ahead and scout here. This is the first time I've done any scouting, so we'll see how this goes and how much we're able to learn. Okay, with that out of the way, I believe we're ready to move back into our calendar. You can see our next race is 16 days away. And we come in here and there, you see already designing brakes is going to be done by this day. We've got some email coming in. Okay, so let's go to our mail tab and check out and see what's going on. Okay, so we've got an announcement here about our taking over as the new boss. We've got an announcement here about a driver that is considering retiring, and that is from the top team, I believe. So that's interesting. And we've got some more fan reaction to my appointment as the new head. And then we've got a dilemma marked by the big red button over here. Okay, so one of our drivers is having a birthday, and you can see the 2 options. Now, the first thing that strikes me here is if we're going to throw a big party, wow, $100,000 on a party, a birthday party? Okay, I'm not sure that the type of team we are at the tier we are should be throwing $100,000 parties, but I don't want to lose morale. I don't want to get started on the wrong foot, so I'm going to go ahead and spend that money. We'll see if that was a good idea. So, all right, that takes care of those situations. We can see our brakes will be done. Our new design for the brakes will be done shortly. So nothing happened before then. All right, so let's go to our mail, and he's telling us that our brake, our new performance brake, is ready to go. And we also have an interview request. All right, let's come back to that. We'll go to the brakes right now, and for that we need to come back to our car tab. And you can see right now we don't have any work going on for designing. We need to fit our new part. Now this is where it comes down to, you're going to have your 2 drivers. Okay, and both of them want the best parts available. Well, we only have 1 new part available right now. So who do we give it to? Well, Sergio here is our most talented driver. If we hit autofill, it's going to give that new part to him. Okay, and basically everything else is all but even, if not perfectly even. Okay, and so let's go back to our design screen. And by the way, Sergio looks like he is very angry. And the reason he's angry is because our car is not very good. Okay, also he wants better parts than what his co-driver is getting. If we use autofill here, then you can see it automatically gives what it believes is the best part on each car. I like that idea, but the possibility definitely exists to go beyond that and assign everything yourself. Okay, so let's get back into design. We could go back into brakes once again and upgrade them, but we have opportunity for suspension, and it looks like there's a possibility it could be done before the next race. However, if you notice up at the top, we have some things that are crucial. All right, one of the things that's crucial is the rear wing. We're not going to worry about that. That's a spec part. But our gearbox is crucial. We only have an average one of those, and engine is also average. So those two things we really don't have an opportunity to improve before the next race. So actually, I am going to go ahead and go with the suspension, and then we'll take a look at the gearbox next. This will give us an opportunity to improve reliability. Once again, I'm going to go with an extra 15% on that. And it's going to cost us $800,000. Okay, and it should be done 1 day before the race. So that's good. So this will not necessarily bring up one of our weaknesses, but it will give us a chance to enhance one of our strengths, again, relatively speaking. Okay, so we're designing, we're working on improving our parts. Let's come back over here and, oh, we had a request to do an interview. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's see what it ends up being. Okay, so they want to talk about our first job. We're in a tough spot. Are you expecting to pick up many points? And let's see, we're going to surprise some people. Absolutely. Let's go ahead and be bold with this. And you can see how it's going to affect our morale. All right, we're going to go ahead and go in between the two. I'm not going to pick one over the other. We're going to let them determine that on the track. All right, so it says we're expected to finish 9th. And let's go ahead and go middle of the road here. Okay, what else do they want to know? You're an outsider from the world of sports, and that's because I did not choose one of the bonuses at the beginning for my character as an ex-driver, ex-engineer, and so forth. All right, so they want to know how I got the job. All right, so she liked my ideas. Okay, let's go ahead and go here. That didn't really help the morale that much, but again, we'll see how things go as we continue. Okay, let's come back in here. Oh, it looks like we're going to have some responses on our contract proposal, so let's go ahead and speed up time. Okay, so contract offer is accepted. Wow, we didn't even have to go back, so I must have offered way too much at the very beginning. Okay, so now we've got that contract offer has been accepted, as well as this. Okay, so now let's come back into our staff. And so we're ready to sign them. So that means we're going to have to get rid of some engineers. And for now, do I go with the ability going forward, or do I get rid of the higher talented individual right now? I'm actually going to get rid of Billy Evans and replace him with our new person. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue on. It's going to cost us $154,000 to break our contract, but that's okay. Let's see, I want to sign here, confirm. There's our signing bonus that we're bringing in, and our new race engineer is here. She is matched up with Ariel. I am going to leave that, or excuse me, matched up with Sergio. I could swap to Ariel, but I'm going to leave it as is because that's what I intended. Let's go ahead and fire our lead designer. And that's going to cost us $90,000. And let's go ahead and sign our new lead designer. Okay, $240,000 is what it's going to cost us. That was the signing bonus that we agreed to. So now we're good to go. We have a much better lead designer and one much better mechanic. Okay, let's come back to the mail. Let's see. Okay, we've got an announcement, contract signed. Okay, he's not too happy about his contract being voided. So, okay, things are going good. Let's come back to our car and let's see how things are going. Okay, 8 days before the race. Of course, we're not putting anything into performance right now. Okay, so things are going good. Let's come back over, and it doesn't look like anything is going to happen for a few days. So we're about ready for our first race. All right, let's see what we've got under car. Our new part is done. So let's go ahead and fit that in. Now, again, Sergio is very angry Our second driver is okay. So let's go ahead and autofill that. Let's see what we have in store. Where are we at? Suspension. There we go. So now we have our new part, which you can see here, 62 and 64 in performance jumps to an 81. And reliability, because it's a brand new part, isn't that great. That's something that we can have our designers work on going forward. All right, so we've auto-filled. Okay, so now our second driver moves up to a slightly better car. So, okay, we've taken care of that. Design new parts because we want to go ahead and get started there. I'm going to come back to our gearbox here. And let's work on gearbox. And let's see, I'm going to go reliability again. And it's going to cost us 1.5 million. You can see the next time we will be able to have options for a good part rather than an average part. Okay, so we've got that taken care of. Let's go ahead and build that part. Cost us a little bit over $1 million, and we're running through our money very quickly. Okay, let's go into improve parts. We're empty over here. Okay, and let's go ahead and autofill that queue. Excellent, that's what I want. Our two new parts, I want them working tirelessly to improve the reliability there. That's excellent, and exactly what I'm looking for. Come back over to our mail. And let's see. Oh, great. So we have an altercation that is not going to help our relationship with our race mechanic. That is terrible. Okay, and then we've already dealt with that. So wonderful. We've got some new offers for sponsors. Excellent. Let's see what we've got. Target position. Well, we're not going to be able to get into these positions, I don't think, but we're offered an upfront payment here. We're going to take that. Okay, so now all our sponsorship areas are filled. And let's see, we're working on a new product, nothing new to fit, and we're working here. Excellent. Let's come back over and continue. So sponsor elect, which sponsor do we want to take with us to the race? And we're going to take this sponsor because I frankly don't think we're going to be able to finish as high as 6th or 2nd. All right, and then fitting parts. We've already basically taken care of this, but we're going to go ahead and hit autofill again just to make sure. Okay, everything is taken care of there. And let's race. All right, so it will show you, give us an opportunity to look. We're at the Black Sea Grand Prix, and that is in Russia. Kind of an odd shape for a track. We're going to get things started with practice. You can see there's going to be a lot that we're going to need to take a look at here. All right, so here's our 3 drivers. We want a high feedback score out here, and so right here we're not going to add him. We've got 2 drivers. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the car setup for the first one. The green area that you see shaded here or highlighted is the recommendation of our engineer. So we're going to go ahead and start out with, let's go ahead and make a stiffer suspension and a little bit shorter gear. And let's see, downforce. Let's go ahead and put a little bit more downforce on there. Whoop, actually, that moves us out of the... I'm not sure. Normally I would think that the balance of these two, would make the car loose or tight or whatever. And doesn't seem to be the case here. I'm not sure. I mean, it does change it. You can see the understeer, oversteer moving around here. But let's go ahead and put this right on the edge. There, okay, so we're going to continue there. And let's have you go off on, let's go out on the soft. You can see there is a difference. 7 to 9 laps out of the super softs, 9 to 11 here. Okay, and it's not raining right now. And the forecast doesn't look like it's supposed to rain anytime soon. So we'll keep that tire choice. Okay, car setup number 2. Let's go ahead and get that taken care of. We're going to add more downforce here, and you can see we're outside of the recommendation. I tell you what, with that in mind, let's go ahead and reduce this some and get toward this end of the handling, and we're going to remove the gear ratios in this direction this time, and we're going to make suspension a little bit softer. I'm putting two different setups on the cars. Let's go ahead and have you also go off on these tires. Okay, let's continue and start the practice. All right, during this practice session, what we're trying to do is we're trying to learn. We're going to get feedback. And let's go ahead and pause this. We got 12 minutes for practice. And let's go ahead and send them out. We've already got everything set up. We're going to do 2-lap stint. And tire choice, we've already got that set up. Okay, go ahead and send them out. Driver number 2, stint, 2 laps. Tire choice, also the same. And we're going to send them out. And let's go ahead and accelerate time. But this is our first opportunity to see the race screen. So we've got the ability, if I highlight each of the drivers, it will focus in on that particular driver. I also have the ability to focus in on the driver that's immediately ahead or behind them, so we can see if somebody is catching us or view the driver that maybe we're trying to catch. Okay, also we can see our current standings, their lap times, and so forth. We can see the amount of knowledge that we're gaining from our practice session, as well as, we've got, let's see, he's hitting the limiter. Okay, and she's not happy with the handling. Okay, we'll keep those in mind for when they come in. Take a look at the race forecast. Doesn't appear to be any rain. We can see the track grip is increasing. So a lot going on here. All right, so we know that the gearing here, he's hitting the rev limiter, so we're going to want to work on making the gears a little bit longer. And let's see. All right, so he likes the downforce. Excellent. All right, so we're being too aggressive with the wing angle. Okay, so we have one driver that loves their downforce setting, one driver that does not. All right, so now we're on the in lap for both. You can also see down here at the bottom, there's standing. And you can also see tire wears. Oh, great. Handling. So we hit some different settings here. Okay, now both drivers are back in the garage. So we're going to go ahead and pause things once again and see that excellent on the downforce. Handling is great. Speed balance is okay. All right, so we're going to hit send out for another run. And this will give us an opportunity to see this. We can use this same setup, which right now we've not made any changes. But this will become important as we do multiple runs. Okay, so downforce is excellent. We're not touching that. And the handling, great. The speed balance, okay. So speed balance, we are going to go ahead and up that to about here. That will change it enough that hopefully we can get a good idea of where we need to be. All right, and I think we're actually going to send him back out. All right, let's send him back out on a new set of tires. As you can see, there's a limited number of tires you have available, so you have to really get on it. Okay, let's go ahead and send him back out. Now here, we didn't do so good with her setup. All right, so very poor on the downforce. We are going to give her much more downforce and move it over toward this end of the green area. Now we've moved the handling over toward oversteer. We're going to see how she likes that. Very poor speed balance, and so she didn't like that at all. We're going to go ahead and make her chassis a little bit stiffer, and we're going to come off of these gears a little bit more to about here. And okay, tire choice. Let's give her some new tires and send them back out. Again, this is on the max amount of fast forward. Still in the garage. Okay, let's go ahead and pick up our first driver out and let's see what happens. So we're 18th and 20th, so we're at the very bottom of the grid right now, but that's okay. That was our first stint in practice. We were trying to learn there. Okay, we're running a very short stint of 2 laps, and speed balance feels much better is the message we get from our first driver. And let's wait to see if we can get some feedback from our number 2 driver. Aero setup is way better. Okay, excellent. All right, so we moved in the right direction. We're making improvements. As you can see, the time is dwindling down. All right, handling feels awesome. Excellent. That's what we want to hear. Okay, time is dwindling down, so this will definitely be our last stint for both. All right, things are going good. Let's see. I can feel the handling is much better. Excellent. Okay, so we went the right direction with our changes. And now, let's see, we've got one driver on the in lap. Sergio's on the in lap. And she is as well. Unfortunately, I cannot pronounce her name that well. And Sergio is just, he has a lot of great things to say about the setup. And that's exactly what I wanted to hear. Now, you'll notice under the standings that super softs are going to be the faster tire. So if a lot of these quick times were done with the super softs, then we're in good shape because we haven't used our super softs yet. All right. So practice is over, and we are getting some good reviews from both of our drivers about the setup to our car. That is exactly what I want to see. Okay, there's our standings. I know we're at the bottom of the grid. We're not going to worry too much about this because we're running low on time for our video. This video is going to go a little bit longer than I'd originally planned, but that's okay. It's exciting stuff. We're about to race in our first race. As you can see, our objective is to have at least one car finish 16th or above, and we'll get that additional purse of $75,000. Now, we have 2 slots to put items in. For the race, I'm going to go ahead and do auto pick because we only have 2 to choose from. All right, let's go ahead and change our setup. And you can see here that we have 2 to choose from. And I'm trying to see where things are. Okay, so we're going to stick with the setup that we ended with. It's excellent, great, and very good. Okay, that's what we want. Tire choice, we're going to go with super softs. Excellent. And we're going to max out our fuel. That should get us about 8 laps, although I'm not sure the super soft tires are going to last that long. Okay, let's come in and take a look here. Okay, definitely want to use the setup we ended with. The optimum balance, 41% on the first one, not good at all, versus 96% here. Let's choose the tires. Also super softs here. And also maximum amount of fuel, although you don't necessarily have to do that. And more fuel equals slower lap times. So let's go ahead and set up our strategy. All right, I want our Sergio to attack. Okay, I want him to attack and see if he can gain as much as possible, while I want her to push, but not quite as hard. And let's go ahead and get started. So we're ready for our first race. Let's see how we do. Let's see if maybe I was too aggressive with our drivers. Okay, we're not going to worry about the grid. We know where we are. All right, so here we are. We are starting 3rd and 17th on the grid. All right, let's go ahead and max things out a little bit for our time. And hopefully Sergio can hold on as much as possible to as many positions as he can. All right, so he's complaining right now and falling back. So that is definitely not good. You can see tire wear is going to diminish quite a bit faster because we're having him attack. We're hoping to get a few laps and hold on to some positions here at the beginning. All right, so far so good. Looks like we're getting some rain on the track. Let's take a quick look at the forecast. And you can see it sort of increases a little bit, but then goes back down. We might be able to squeeze through, but this is our first decision. Do we come in and change tires? What I'm going to do here is back off a little bit on him, and let's change our strategy here. Let's go neutral with her. All right, we're still in 7th. We lost some positions, but that's to be expected. All right, so it's a bit damp, and I want you to just hold on right now because it's not expected to continue for very much longer. Yeah, she wants to pit as well. I'm going to try to hold off. This may be a terrible decision, but I'm not going to come in just yet because we need to pit a maximum of twice in this race. And the dampness, okay, it's going down. Looks like we're in good shape there, but our tire wear is going down very quickly. We've worn down our tires from... Okay, so let's go ahead. We've run 4 laps here. We're going to go ahead and set up pitting and have him go to the little bit harder tire. And fuel options, yes, go ahead and fill up. Hopefully we can get... So it turns out we didn't need near as much fuel that particular time. Okay, now our pit crew, how do we want them to behave? Let's go ahead and stick with balance right now. I don't want to get too risky as the risk jumps pretty heavily there. Looks like about a 9-second pit stop. Okay, let's go ahead and have him come in. All right, she is up to 15th because we had some people coming in for intermediate tires because of the rain. Okay, let's go ahead and move back to her. Let's have her run at least one additional lap. Okay, now we're going to have her come in the next time by and fill her up with fuel, get her some new tires. Again, a little bit harder tire. And all of her parts are looking good, so no need to repair those. And 9-second pit stop. Excellent. And let's take off. Okay, so you can see she's moved up to 4th, but she'll lose a lot of positions when she comes into pit. All right, we've come back out in 7th, which is where we went in. And I'm hoping we can make the race on 1 fewer pit stop now because the track is drying. Doesn't look like we're forecasting any rain in the future. Let's hope it stays that way. Okay, she's in the pits. All right, an excellent stop. That is what I want to see. She comes out in 17th. And now we have our number 1 driver is up to 6th. So we keep an eye on our forecast. Doesn't look like there's going to be any more rain. Okay, that's what we want to see. Tire degradation looks pretty good here. Again, our strategy here is for him to push. We want him to push to try to gain or at least maintain as many spots as possible. Our goal, as you can see, sponsor objective to finish 16th or higher. We're above that, so we're looking good. All right, our tire wear is a little bit high, so I'm going to go ahead and lower our driving style to neutral. Okay, so we got a driver over here that's not very happy. And her strategy... All right, she's really getting into it now, fighting with another driver. And we can see over here that she's cleared that other driver who is now 3.8 seconds. We could focus in on these as she pulls in on the driver in front of her, which is a little ways up the track. All right, let's come back over because our next driver to pit is going to be from 4th. Tire wear is heading down. Oh, it looks like he's thinking that he might have some engine trouble. Let's take a look at our condition. And engine is down to 26. Unfortunately, he is right. So let's go ahead and back off there. And I think we're going to have to take it easy there and try to take it easy on our engine. So let's back off on our strategy quite a bit. So that's not good. Our engine is going to have to be repaired, possibly our brakes as well, but we backed off a little bit and hopefully that will enable us to work there. All right, so he's running out of fuel. So we're going to go ahead and have him come in next time by. And let's see, let's go ahead and take it easy there. And we're going to have 6 laps remaining in the race. So we're going to go ahead and give enough fuel for 6 laps. And hopefully that'll be enough. Again, every lap extra fuel slows us down by about 1/4 second. And we're going to have to fix our engine, which is going to take quite a bit of time. You can see about 18 seconds to fix that. And we're going to try to get by without fixing our brakes. Hopefully that will work. And you can see it's going to have us coming out about 13th. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up his pits. we come over to driver number 2 and see how we go. So we're going to expect to lose several positions here. All right. How is our conditioning? Oh, we're going to have to fix that as well. All right, and so she's up to 10th, but again, she's going to have to come into pit, and we're going to have her go around one more time and then come into pit. That's going to give us the option to hopefully a little bit less fuel on board, and we're going to go ahead and fix her engine as well. Unfortunately, I wish I didn't have to do that, but those are the brakes. She's going to come out in 16th, it looks like. Okay, so first driver now, he's back out on the track. He is in 14th. Okay, and his engine has been not fully repaired, you can see, but back up to 63%, so that's good. Let's hope the brakes last, as well as the suspension, both looking a little low, but mostly the brakes. All right, so now you can see here we can rotate the camera around to get a better view. We can also zoom in and out, but I prefer to keep it in as much as possible. All right, so now he's talking about brake problems, which we did expect, but we've got him being fairly conservative. So let's hope we can make it through the end of the race. We've got a few more laps here. All right, she wants to push, which not that I particularly blame her. Okay, and everything is looking pretty good. So, okay, I feel pretty good about being able to push now. It shows she's got excess fuel, so let's go ahead and have her push to the end of the race and see if she can get up closer to our other driver. All right, oh, and look what happened. As we're doing this, the track is getting more and more damp. Actually, I'm going to try to ride this out. I don't know if that's going to be a good decision, but here we go. We see that the dampness is not expected to go any higher, and in fact, it's expected to get a little bit better. All right, and parts are not looking all that great, so I'm not really interested in having him push. I actually want him to conserve, and we're going to try to stay out here and see if we can get some positions. All right, you see the track grip is coming back because the wetness is reducing. Hopefully that will help us out. And we have not pitted. Looks like not very many people did, because we haven't picked up very many positions. All right, so far so good. Looks like we might lose a position here, but beyond that, looks like we're okay. And we made it. So the race is now over. We ended up in 12th and 14th, so very good. We ended up with both of our drivers fairly close together on the grid, and we only had to make 2 pit stops, so it turns out that not pitting for fuel at the very end there was the right decision. Now everybody's coming into the garage, and we will, in the event, we met our sponsor target, so we'll get an additional $75,000 there. Okay, we'll go ahead and let the session complete. There we go. And we'll come up to the next screen. We're not going to take too much of a worry about the tires. Let's take a look at the event results. So we come in 2nd and 14th. Okay, we earned some points. So 9 points and 7 points respectively. And excellent. So let's go ahead and hit continue our scrutineering. This has to do with the development of your parts. Okay, we don't have any parts that were under any risk of breaking any rules, so we come through scrutineering just fine, and we are ready to continue. All right, so with that out of the way, we're going to end the video here. Thanks for coming along with the ride in our first race as we continue our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager.